For my part of this demonstration, I'm going to look at another business problem and add that business problem as a topic to Andrew's bot, so that we now have a bot covering more than one business problem. So what is the problem I'm looking at? Well, if you remember back to our first webinar, we looked at the business problem of being in a conference or training room or boardroom and collecting drink orders off people. Very messy. If you pass a piece of paper around, you don't always get the right orders and people don't always remember what order it is. So back then we had the solution that we would use a Microsoft form and Power Automate to collect the orders. So what's our solution this time around? Well, this time we're going to use the Power Virtual Agent, our bot, to collect the drink order information and then be able to pass that to the Power Automate to store it away for the overall drink order. So why use the Power Virtual Agent in this situation then? Well, as you'll be able to see, it provides extra power and intelligence to the collection process that's very difficult to do when using forms. Now, forms have their place, but this demonstration is going to show quite clearly how Power Virtual Agents allow for extra intelligence in the way the questions are collected and being able to collect just the questions that you need for the situation. So how does it work? What do we do? Well, as Andrew mentioned, it begins with asking the bot a question. Now, I'm not going to go through each step, step by step to start with here, as Andrew did, because my bot, as it turns out, its main flow is almost the same as Andrew's. What I'm going to do with a bit of a flow diagram now is highlight for you some little differences that I've put into my bot over Andrew's. So we'll start with our question. Person types in, I would like to place a drink order. And the bot comes back and says, hi, I'm Bruce, the order bot. Are you looking to place a drink order? And so what happens if we answer no to that question? Because as we saw in Yeoman's demonstration, we have built in a purchasing topic, and they might have been trying to order a laptop, not order a drink. So they might just answer no here if we got it wrong. What can we do? Well, we can actually determine whether it's an actual purchase and pass it on to our purchasing topic instead of sticking with the drink order topic, and instead of making them go all the way back to the start again. So that's quite useful. Now let's get back to the answering yes. So the answer is yes, I'm placing a drink order. So we ask for personal details, just like in Andrew's, and the person enters their name, their email, and perhaps their seating location is what we've asked for in my bot. Then it's going to ask for what kind of drink type. And then the person can come back and say whether they want coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. And if they do that, we're going to ask for some more details about the drink that they're after. And in this case, they're going to put in what their milk type is and how many sugars they would like. And thus, we've now collected all the information we need for their order, and we can store that away and using the Power Automate, just as Andrew did. But in my case, I'm just going to print out show a screenshot of what information we've collected in a little message, but we could be using the Power Automate. But what about if we want a water instead of hot chocolate? Do we need to ask for the milk type and the sugars? Let's see what might happen then if the person actually selected water, which is actually in my bot. Then they're going to be asked for a different set of details related to what we were after when we were asking for a cold drink. So we can see here a whole different stream of what we can ask for. And the person can come back and say whether they want their water in a bottle or in a glass. So in our forms, we would have had to have extra fields in the forms or several different forms, depending on what type of drink type you wanted, etc. Whereas here with the Power Virtual Agent, we're able to easily just go down a slightly different flow and collect different information. Also, what about if they wanted to order a second drink? In our old form situation, where they'd have to open a new form, fill in all the information again. What can we do in our bot? Well, I can just ask, do you want another order? If they answer yes, then I can take ourselves back just to the drink type. No point in asking for their personal details again. We know those already, don't we? So we just ask for what kind of drink is their second order and go through the process flow from there. Much better than what the form was able to do for us. So that now leads us into the demo part of my presentation. I'll take you through, like Andrew did, a couple of flows through the actual bot, asking some questions and answering the responses. And we'll start with the simple flow that I suggested that was in our flow diagram and say, I would like to place a drink order. So let's do that. I would like to place a drink order. Okay, and as with Andrews, you'll see across to the right, it shows the actual flow task that it's going through. It's come back and asked us whether we're looking to place a drink order. So yes, we do want to place a drink order. So we just click on that, yes, and it's asked us for our name. Okay, so my name is Bill. Okay, so it's asked for that. Okay, what's our email address? bill@mallet.solutions. Okay, very nice. And my bot asks us where we're seated. So let's just say I'm in row number 2. Okay, very good. So now it gives us a selection of different drinks we'd like. So I'm going to order a coffee. So let's say coffee and skim milk. So this is very easy. We're just selecting things. And how many sugars? 0 sugars. Okay, so now it's got my full order. So it comes back and tells me, thanks, Bill. We'll email a message to bill@mallet.solutions when your drink is on its way and bring it to you at row 2. Coffee, skim milk, 0 sugars. Would you like to place another drink order? So no, not for now, but you can see how simple that was. Simple clicking of buttons as we move through once it realized we're after a drink order. And just like Andrews, there's a default at the end when we're finishing. Do you want to ask another question? So just in case you want to continue with something else. No, in this case, oops, what did I do? Oh, didn't answer your question. Look, I got that wrong. Let's say, let's rephrase that, and we'll start again. Okay. So you can see what happens if I thought my question wasn't answered. It asks if it can help out even further. But let's now try a slightly different one to show the extra intelligence that's in there. Andrew showed you a little bit of this. I'm going to show you how it's actually built into the virtual agent and not having to be coded in by each individual person. So now I'm going to just say, I would like to order a bottle of water. Okay. Oh, yes. You're after a drink order? Yes, I'm after a drink order. Okay, what's my username? Okay, bill@mallet.solutions. Okay, oops. Oh, not my username, my name, Bill. Yes, okay, just Bill. Okay. Oh, there we go. Just like with Andrews, it hasn't asked me for my email address next because I've already typed it in. Just wants to know where I'm seated. So row 2. Okay, I'm seated at row 2. Wow, look at that. It skipped all the future questions because I'd already said I wanted to place an order for water that was bottled, and that was the questions it was going to ask me. So it goes straight and says, thanks, Bill. We'll email you a bill@mallet.solutions when your drink is on its way and bring it to you at row 2, water bottle. Do you want to place another drink order? No. So you see there that the very smart way that even though I haven't had to do any special coding, it was able to pick up on things that I'd already told it about and didn't bother to ask me those questions if I was already told what was going on. So can you imagine then the following situation? Perhaps you're a nursery and you use a bot to answer your customers' questions, and your customer has this plant in their garden and they're really not quite sure what it is, but they would like some help with what it is. So the bot asks them, can you give me a picture of this plant? And so the customer provides the picture of the plant to the bot, and then the bot uses artificial intelligence to work out what the plant is so that then it can continue with that conversation and help, knowing what it is, even though the customer didn't know what it is. Does this sound a little bit futuristic? Well, perhaps it does sound a little bit futuristic, but in fact, you can already do this with the Power Platform today. So once again, it's quite amazing what is possible. And if there's enough interest in artificial intelligence, I'm sure we can organise for a demonstration in a future webinar.